All right, good evening. Tonight we're going to be refactoring some code so we can reuse it to other parts of by AI. Let's get into it. So the part that we're refactoring is this. Right now, this only takes in uh, blog post data, and I want it to be able to take in data for the list model, which is this. It is right now it's the exact same thing as a blog, but uh, I want to go ahead and make this reusable so I don't have to worry about doing anything funky in the future. So what we're going to do is we're going to, let's see, I guess we'll just make a post component. Uh, Post component maybe. It's a really actually, yeah, let's specify that it's a component. Post component function post component. I wasn't going to specify that it was a post component, but then I realized that it with naming, it's going to be a little bit obnoxious if I don't specify that it's a component. So I went ahead and did that. Okay, so a lot of this is just going to be a big fat copy and paste. Really, most of this, it's just getting everything set up for copying and pasting. That's gonna be the fun part. So, all right, let's take all of this and then take all of this as well. And the other thing that I need to do is to actually decide exactly what I want to uh, take out of the old blog post component and put into the new reusable component. Because on one hand, I could just have a whole bunch of data passed in through here, or I could just pass in the type and I could handle everything in the component itself. I think I'm going to do kind of something in between. You'll see what that is in just a second, but well, yeah, you'll see. And we also need to copy and paste this stuff over. Basically all that stuff. Okay, so I guess we could have just taken everything. Oh well, one lesson. Okay. Yeah, so the username slug will be standard. We do want a type because we want to be able to specify whether this is a post or a list. Then let's see. We need to be able to either change the function that we're getting or that we're using, or we need to be able to change the uh words are escaping me again. Or we need to be able to change the data that goes in. I feel like changing the function is gonna be better though. Eh. Well, here, okay, so for feed component, I did it with a function, so I feel like that's better if I just do that. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, that's better. Okay. Yeah, so in that case we'll pass in the function stuff too, and actually maybe we'll take a bit from what I learned from feed component, pass in, okay, so let's see, args type, uh, query function. Okay, actually it was only those things, but you know, yeah, start somewhere. Okay. Yeah, so all of this stuff. Oh, this is gonna be. Oh, I didn't think about this. It's gonna be a bit nasty to deal with because I'm gonna have to uh change all of these functions into functions that work for both post and list, which is not that hard in theory, but still. Okay, so let's see. Let's Okay, we have all this stuff and that makes logical sense. So let's see. Okay, so for the function blog post, we just want to return a post component. Sorry, I went to print post comment like that. And args, nothing right now. The type will be of type, well, posts. And then the query function, in this case, is get blog post. Actually, I guess we really don't need to dynamically change the query function like that. We could also just do this. Just if, well, okay, so here's the thing. So I could go one of two ways with this. So I could either pass in a function and the arguments for that function every time, which could result in me passing in like, 5 or 6 different functions, or I could base everything on this. The problem with that is that when I want to go back and change something, if I want to go back and, well, I want to add a different type of post, then I have to go back here into this component and add a basically new way to handle that. I don't think that's bad though, is the thing. Um, that's kind of why I'm like, uh, don't worry about it, just do it. There's no reason not to. Um, okay, yeah, I feel like I'm going to handle this just by whatever the type is, because I would personally rather keep all of the logic in here. But that's just me. Okay, so yeah. Well, but here's the thing. Now doing this is going to be much more annoying, but uh yeah, this is really just one of those things that's kind of frustrating to deal with. There's and there seems to really be no good way to deal with it. Um, hmm, this is definitely a thinker because because as I just explained, there's pros and cons to everything here. If I do choose to add, you know, uh, add features just in the component and keep all of the logic in the component, it could save me a lot of time and work in the future, but same time, doing a little bit more heavy lifting right now might be worth it and just adding every single function in there. And, actually me saying that has made me realize that I do just want to pass in the functions that I need. Uh, and the reason that I say that is I think almost every time I say, oh, well, if I just do a bit more heavy lifting now, it'll be better in the future. And I just said that. So I think it's going to be worth it to just do the annoying thing right now, add in a bunch of functions as parameters, and then you can come back and do that later. Or not do that later, but sorry, we don't have to come back and do that later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start basically just query function. And we guess we don't really need args yet, because there's really, well, yeah, there's really nothing that needs like dynamic args or anything. All right, so that should be the query function. Let me go here and add this in. Query function, get blog post. We can remove that from the imports there. And then, let's see. So we don't need user data. No, sorry, we do need that. We need that. And then I'm going to change this to get post of type and add. And this, let's just say this is going to be, well, actually, isn't, I don't need to say anything. I just need to do plus type, which is the parameter up there. And then that should keep it unique, which is great. And let me change this to camel case. I think it'll just look better in the long run, Uh, get comments by post. And then same thing. comments of post, comments of post type, etc. And then for that, okay, so at some point I can start changing functions based on what um based on just passing in the type parameter to the helper functions. I think that would make sense in the long run instead of having like an entirely separate function for, set does reaction exist for post, set does reaction exist for list, because that just seems kind of silly. I think the better thing to do in the long run is truly just, yeah, just add a second parameter and we can query based off of that. So that's my 10 cents. Yeah, okay, and then we have, because like, okay, like this, um, I'm always gonna have comments for posts. I'm always gonna have reactions. It's just the query function that might kind of change in the long run. It's also kind of, well, actually that does raise the question. Do I just maybe I don't pass in the query function? Because it doesn't need to be so dynamic. I don't know. I'm gonna stop recording and think about this for a little bit because I don't know what the right way is to go here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.